To address items on the agenda should sign up to speak to those such items at the regular board meeting, which will follow this. Speakers shall refrain from abusive or profane remarks, disruptive outbursts, protests, or other conduct which interferes with the orderly conduct of the public forum. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes unless otherwise determined by the chair, and we can do 3 minutes with the number of speakers tonight. At the chairperson's discretion, the Gary Sansing Public Forum may end 5 minutes prior to the scheduled start of the upcoming Board of County Commissioners meeting to allow the meeting to commence on time. Our first public speaker is Megan Walters. Is Megan here? Hi, Megan.
Hi, how are you guys tonight?
You start.
I'm super excited that I get to be the first public speaker for this administration. All 5 of you, I prayed for y'all. I prayed for y'all to get in, so I'm kind of excited that everybody that I prayed would get in office is here. And I feel like all 5 of y'all are gonna take the scam and the negativity out of Escambia County, and with you guys at the helm over the next 4 years, we're gonna move forward. Yeah. I think you guys are gonna do that. Ashley, I wanna publicly thank you and Bogies and Watchroom for my leadership class this semester. Y'all allowed us to put boxes at your businesses. Y'all allowed us to have spirit nights. We did this all with a lot of local businesses in the, around 9 Mile. And we were collecting snacks. And we collected so many snacks that Gulf Coast Kids House had to ask us to stop bringing them because they ran out of room. And that talks about our small businesses, our community, our culture here in Escambia County. And thank you for giving us that opportunity. Stephen, thank you for all the stuff that you've been doing around Farm Hill and the village and the parks and getting lighting there. I was riding down the road with one of my kids the other day, and he actually noticed all the work that's been done, so thank you for that. And I was very proud to vote for you this time, and thank you also for the park that you're putting in at the golf course at the paper mill. People are excited about that, and I already see people over there, even though it's under construction. And Lumen, at the last budget meeting, you were talking about how it's a problem that you have employees making $40,000 and they're not able to make it. And, you know, we've talked about that, and I've tried to wrap my mind around it, and I think that it's just that do better, be better, we deserve better mentality. And you know, the purpose of government is to provide for the citizens that which they can't get for themselves. But these are your employees, so how do you do that? And I think just showing them that they're valued and, you know, getting them better health care, better retirement, better benefits, better employee assistance programs, and better recognition. And I just want to be transparent and open and honest with you guys. I know that y'all are coming to the helm and that y'all are going to be filling committees and all this. Do not think about me. I do not want to do it. The best thing that Burgosh did for me was removing me from a committee, and I think it might have had nefarious intentions, but it was the first time in my adult life that I've just been a citizen, and it has been freeing, and I enjoy it, and so, yeah. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day.
Yeah, thank you. Commissioners love nice comments. Our second speaker is Mr. Tom Gleaser. Tom?
Hello, I'm Tom Glesser. I'd appreciate it if my wife is going to speak for us here. She's a little more familiar with the topic than I am.
Hello, I'm Joanne Glesser. Sorry, I've had surgery, and so I'm having some problems with my voice, but I'll try to be clear. We're here looking for a drainage project. We're here to address the flooding at 2215 West DeSoto. It's our daughter's studio. She's a cinematographer and equipment rental, and it's been an ongoing problem since Hurricane Sally. Hurricane Sally wiped out the southern part of the street of DeSoto and created a culvert, and the water rushes down there. Then, to exacerbate the problem, last April, the county repaved the street and raised it, which caused even more flooding in front of her studio. We have some photos to show you of all of it. My husband was a Navy pilot. I was a university professor at West Florida. We loved this town. We convinced our daughter to come back from New York. She was a cinematographer there, and she was eager to open a studio in Brownsville area. She knew it was regrowing and regenerating, and she'd grown up in North Hill with us renovating 25 houses, so she was accustomed to dealing problems with crime and theft and other things, but we can't handle the flood issue. We've tried to help it ourselves before coming to you for help, but we've dug ditches, we've tried to drain off water, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. The road coverage made it much worse. We got help from ECUA to some extent, but they said they couldn't find funding, and they recommended us come to you. We don't know where to go from here. The biggest deal is that it's dangerous, it's slippery mud, it stays in front of the building for 4 to 5 days. St. Vincent de Paul is across the street from us. They have flooding too. They said they were coming next month. Then on top of the road coverage, ECUA put millings on the neighbor's lawn and stopped their water issue, but it caused pooling in a lake like in our area. She can't have handicapped people come as clients because they can't get the wheelchair out in the water and get into her building. Her equipment is worth thousands of dollars. She just did the shoot for the Blue Angels, and they required her to rent a big truck with a ramp so that the expensive equipment wouldn't have to go through the water getting on the truck. She's done the Blue Angel show for 2 years in a row. She wants to be a part of this town. She wants to be a female entrepreneur, but she's losing business. We really need your help. We don't know where to go from here. Thank you.
Ms. Glusser, thank you for your comments.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
And this is
Commissioner
not
May.
district, Ms. Gieser. Certainly, I'm not aware that this came to my office. This is the first time I'm hearing of it, but I'm very familiar because I drive through Brownsville every day. And so let me say this is unacceptable. And I wish you would have called my office, and I would have certainly addressed it clearly. I don't know if Joy Blackman or someone from engineering is here, but engineering will get with you. My aide will get with you to make an appointment, and we will get road departments and engineers out there. Because this is the first I've heard of it. We've had multiple flooding problems there, and thank you for coming. And let me apologize because I didn't know anything about it. I wish you would have called my office. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for coming.
We're in our 70s,
Thank
and
you.
we've been out digging ditches
We will
to
get
try
on
to
it.
get the water away before she has the show.
I
Thank
guarantee
you
you,
so much.
my aide's going to come down. Who's from engineering, Wes? Is there somebody from here from engineering?
That's what
I have
was
Jamie
looking
Higdon in the back. Jamie,
Well,
you
Jamie,
wouldn't
could
mind
someone
making
please talk to
contact?
them? Because that's unacceptable. It'll be addressed, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you for
much, sir.
coming down. Thanks, Commissioner May, for taking that on. Our next speaker is Kenneth Powell.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Ken Powell, Perdido Key. I'm here to talk to you about a low barrier shelter for the county and the city. Now that both, and I believe tonight, the county is going to vote on the ordinances to prohibit camping on public and private property. City of Pensacola has already adopted the required ordinances outlawing camping on public and private property. It is time to rethink how we are going to deal with the increase in homeless persons living on the streets in the city and county. One possible solution is to build a low barrier shelter, as has been recommended by a number of consultants to the city as far back as 2012, Mr. Robert Marbut, and recently in May 24 by JD Consultancy. A 120-bed mixed congregate and non-congregate shelter with full services on site is being used across the United States to effectively eliminate street homelessness, including campers. This facility will not handle the entire problem, but starting with one project to be followed by others of the same low barrier philosophy will make things better across the city and county. I propose the city and county jointly provide construction money to a nonprofit corporation that would build and operate the facility at no or very little cost to the public treasury. Private donations from churches, other nonprofits, and public-spirited citizens will handle the approximately $1.2 million annual operating costs. We have in Pensacola and Escambia County a rich, diverse group of nonprofits and churches who do a pretty good job of meeting the needs of many of those experiencing homelessness. But certainly not all, as evidenced by the number of campers we've recently had to evict. I believe there is no dignity in sleeping in the street. We as a community can do better, and one of those better solutions is a low-barrier shelter. The principles of the low-barrier shelter are no requirement for religious activity in order to be served or admitted. You can come in drunk, but you can't bring in alcohol. You can come in high, but you can't bring in drugs. No weapons are allowed. If you become disruptive, we call the sheriff or the Pensacola police, and you'll go to jail. Pets will be welcomed into a kennel on site. A comprehensive range of services must be part of the low-barrier shelter. Mental and physical health, job search, showers, sleeping areas, kitchen, cafeteria, storage of personal property, intake screening, and referrals. All of these principles are rooted in eliminating as many reasons or excuses for not coming off the street or camping. Thank you. I look forward to hearing from you in the future, and we'll be back with more for your entertainment later. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Chris Kerb is our next speaker.
How y'all doing this evening? Chris Kerr with Flood Defenders. Last month I mentioned a few projects for each district, and by the way, congrats for y'all's seats, Ashley and Stephen and Steve. But I mentioned all 5 districts, different projects, different things. District 5 I kind of got cut off on is Old South Highway 29, just south of West Roberts Road. Stephen, Gwendolyn Brooks and Manita, her sister Manita Samuel, they property flooded again right there next to the I can't even remember the name of that business there, but they built up right next to their property. Ashley, you campaigned on supporting code changes with modernized rainfall data and promote modernized and easier permitting for businesses. I understand in January the PAC will be making, they made recommendations to the Planning Board, which will be coming to the Board of County Commissioners. And those changes include stormwater design standards that utilize modernized rainfall data. With reference in the actual code language, it'll be the FDOT rainfall data. Well, there is a problem with that, the code language that will be coming to you, taking no Atlas 14, that's good. The new FDOT rainfall, no Atlas 14, that's good. Only problem is there's a section in there where we're going to start taking private ponds, or normally that are private ponds that do not have outfalls. In other words, when they fill up, they flood everything around it. And they're going to add a 6-inch freeboard. DOT doesn't do that. Their drainage manual actually says you do a 100-year, 7-day, 10-day storm event. So I'll be speaking on that at the Planning Board as well as in front of y'all, depending on how that goes. There is a big difference in rainfall for no Atlas 14. It's 2.76 inches at the City of Pensacola, and the J rainfall gauge, it's 2 inches. As far as District 2, well, you know, Forest Creek Apartments, Beach Haven Northwest. District 3, I did bring up DeSoto and P Street, and I'll send you the Gleaser's contacts, Lumen, so you'll have that. Sure thing. I think you may have stepped out at the time. And District 1, Bellevue, Hogan Pit, Muldoon, Softly Field, Velma Drainage Project. I think I'll talk about that when we have the rezoning for
Chris, don't make me-
202411. Thank you.
Good. Thanks for your comments. Appreciate it, Chris. Charles Krupnik is our next speaker.
Good afternoon. Charles Krupnick. I live on 14500 River Road on Perdido Key. As reported in the Pensacola News-Journal a few weeks ago, a developer is proposing an upscale RV park for 3 lots along the west side of River Road on Perdido Key, not far from Perdido Key Drive, and between the Florencia condominium and private homes. On the latest version of the proposal that I'm aware, there are about 26 concrete RV sites, 12 bungalows, office and amenity with pool and restaurant, and 98 parking spaces on the other side of River Road. The area is zoned Planned Resort District, PRPK, and allows RV parks. Okay. As an owner and resident who lives not far from the proposed RV park on this north-south section of River Road, I believe that the development is not really compatible with that portion of Perdido Key. This stretch of River Road has over 40 private homes, some smaller rental units, along with 3 larger condominiums. There are also many single-family residences on the adjacent Arbor Gate and Serenity subdivisions running east off River Road. The RV park would change the character of this relatively quiet Perdido Key neighborhood and may increase traffic hazards and delays on narrow River Road as well as adjacent Perdido Key Drive because of more frequent large vehicle maneuvers. The proposal is not yet submitted for approval to the Development Review Committee, though I believe it was gone through the pre-approval process and has been reviewed by appropriate Escambia County officials without any particular problems noted, though I don't know of any wetlands or habitat conservation plan issues that have come up or need to be resolved. The development proposed is 4.63 acres. Zoning says 5 acres, but there's parking across the street that adds, and I'm told that's not an issue. I'm bringing this up to commissioners now, even though the proposal has not gone through the Development Review Committee, because we on Perdido Key and those on Interiority Point, along with many others at the time, were surprised when workers began clearing land a couple of years ago near the north end of Theo Barr's Bridge for the enormous Altura apartment complex. While much smaller in scale, this RV park will also affect the character of its immediate neighborhood. Now, I ask commissioners to appreciate these concerns and closely follow this RV park proposal. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our next speaker is Eric Sharpman.
Well, good evening, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to congratulate you on being chairman. I just had a quick question. Have you made a decision on Congress, or are you going to stick with us as our chairman?
I'm going to be here with you, Eric.
Okay. But anyway, I want to thank Mr. Barry. One thing that you had done for the county and it's come in notice is your thing about the fiber. I think that's going to really benefit this county a lot. I want to welcome Mr. Strohberger to the board. I will definitely know he's got his hands full with this OLF8 crowd, so you don't have an easy task. I hope you can find a solution for him. But yeah, the thing with the homeless problem is a lot of these people choose to be homeless. They don't want to be helped. And so you can't help people who don't want to be helped. You have people on next door talking about, I need food for me and my dog, and people are saying, no, you need to get rid of the animal. We'll help you, but not your animal. And so we've got to make choices in life. And I just hope that this year that we can have a commission that's happy and everybody's working together. So I just want to thank you for your time, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Eric. Our next speaker is Stan McDaniels. Welcome back, Stan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations on being the chair here. It's good to see you up there. Thankful that you got some new board members, hoping for some good things going forward for Escambia County here. My name is Stan McDaniels, and I am officially a candidate for Congress here in District 1 for Northwest Florida. You know, as a congressman, since I ran for District 4 back in 2022, you know, I had a conversation with the sheriff, and he said that he wouldn't be investigating this board because that would be a conflict of interest on his getting funding from you guys as well. So I intend to utilize the DOJ to, put an investigation into this county and this area to make sure everything's up to board, because I have witnessed the corruption here. I've been a victim of the corruption here through not only this board, but our county courts as well. The family courts are not issuing equitable decisions under the law, and we need to change that. My name's Stan McDaniels, and I hope to represent this Northwest Florida district with the Constitution, because the Constitution is meant to protect the smallest minority, and that's the individual. And that just hasn't been happening here in Northwest Florida. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stan. John Moore is our next speaker. John?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. With all the recent interest in economic development in my community of Beulah, I started paying attention to some of the commissions and alliances promoting those efforts. I appreciate the mission of PEDC in Florida West and their responsibility to bring industry, commerce, and revenue to this area. I attended multiple Florida West and PEDC meetings and now know a little more of the processes and people involved. Of concern to me is that in all of the gatherings and discussions I have observed, there is a glaring disregard for the opinions and feelings of the residents of communities where development is planned. I understand that return on investment and getting the most bang for the buck are important, but if people are our most valuable commodity, maybe they should get a bigger say in the programs that will most impact their immediate lifestyle, especially if those same citizens are funding the work that will impact their way of life. The most recent meeting of the PEDC I attended was a session where a united group of local economic power brokers tried to convince the PEDC that they needed to petition this board for control of large parcels of land in order to protect them from developers who might not develop them with the best economic result. I thank Commissioner Berry for tamping that flame and Commissioner Strohberger for bringing to light the fact that PEDC and Florida West might not be the most successful property managers in our area. In August of this year, PEDC reported an 11-month gross profit of $1,720,000 and a net income of $277,986. In October, Florida West reported total current assets of $515,000, total liabilities and equities of $933,000, and a net operating revenue of $147,000. Local reporting states Florida West is conducting a 5-year campaign to raise $2.5 million in capital, and if my research is correct, they sell voting seats on their board for an annual investment of $40,000. I don't know the last time our contribution of $600,000 a year was evaluated, but I personally believe we might be giving too much to an organization that doesn't appear to have the citizens' best interest at heart. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our next speaker is Larry Downs, Jr.
Larry Downs Jr. Plumbing, LLC, because fecal matters. All right. Hey, y'all know we got a bunch of Congress candidates or candidates for Congress coming up, and I would like to encourage y'all to vote for Gene Valentino. We've become friends over the years, over the past 6 years, and he has promised me that I'll be able to go up there with my camera and walk through the halls and talk to the likes of Nancy Pelosi and the rest of those dum-dums. That's worth it. Y'all know it's worth it. And let me tell you, all those the 10 candidates for the Republican ticket right now, I looked at all of them. They ain't a bad one in the bunch. They really ain't. They aren't bad men. We got one here tonight. The only thing I'm going to encourage him to do is when you stand up, you say, hey, I'm the best person for the job. How about just saying I'm the best man for the job? Stop using these terms, accept it. Be a man about it. They say pregnant people, pregnant persons. Give me a break. It's pregnant women. Come on, it's pregnant mothers, technically. Think about that. We got to, they're destroying our democracy, our democracy, our democracy. We got to hear all this dumb stuff. It's constant. So anyways, I'm going to get back to the real deal, the real Anthony Fauci. Now, y'all know y'all took those poisons. Y'all know, I mean, maybe not all y'all did, but a good bit of y'all took those poisons. They were wrong. You know, Lumen encouraged all the black people to get them. You should be ashamed of yourself. I hope you apologize to them. I talked to a woman today. CDC recorded it. Told her I was recording. And black woman. I said, after I asked her all about it, read her these safety data insert sheets. Yeah, they're carcinogenic. They're mutagenic. They haven't even checked for if it impairs fertility in males. The only thing they checked was rats, pregnant rats. That was it. I said, "Did you get those COVID shots?" She goes, "No." No. Yeah, good thing, you know, she wasn't friends with Lumen. He said, "Go to the Vax Drive, Larry. Go get your shots." That's what this is the nut. Y'all going to talk about it? Dr. Rudman talked about it. He said that he took a couple of those shots and got some blood clots. He said that was the worst mistake he ever made. If people don't start talking about this, we're going to continue. They're still pushing these shots on little babies, pregnant mothers. You could go to the CDC website, go to their YouTube channel. Look at them push it. This is the evilest thing that's ever been done to every man, woman, and child on this planet. And we're still not talking about it. Y'all still spending the AARP money, the American Rescue Plan money, the Corona Cares Act money, the inflation. Oh, geez. Good luck.
Thank you, Larry. Appreciate your comments. Andrew
If y'all
Brewer.
want to talk to me, y'all come on. I got all the evidence here.
Thanks, Larry. Andrew Brewer, you're next.
Mr. Chairman, Larry, they are giving out free shots for black, brown, and white people for Christmas.
Go get 'em, buddy.
Yeah,
Hey,
they
come
got
on.
it.
Be at number 7.
Larry, come on. Andrew, you're up.
He addressed me. You giving this book to me?
Andrew Brewer. Hey, somebody told me I could catch more flies with honey than I can with manure, but evidently nobody's ever been to a dairy barn where they milk cows. So, but I'm going to be nice to you because we got a quick quo pro, right? You're going to be good to me if I'm good to you?
If you're good, we're going to be good to you, Andrew.
But anyhow, I want to thank my new county commissioner for District 1. I hope he starts working on a CRA for District 1 because we need it, real bad need it. We got so many problems there in Bellevue area. And like I say, we don't have a community center. I mean, Commissioner Barry, how many community centers y'all got up there in District 5? I mean, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting a community center up there, can you?
We have a number.
Yeah, you have a number. But we don't even have one in District 1. So can we make that a CRA? And then also with the stormwater, whatever, we got Godwin Lane. We done 3 stormwater projects on Godwin Lane, and we still got problems with water backing up on the side of the road of Godwin Lane. Can we please do something with that? Because all that water comes down through the fairgrounds, comes down through Buckland Drive. I mean, poor Brad, he's been working 4 months on that holding pond or whatever, and evidently he can't get it licked because he don't have the skill set, I guess, in the county. I mean, I guess when y'all made Wes Marino the county administrator, it left a vacuum there in Public Works there. I think you ought to send him back to Public Works. But I mean, he had some ideas or whatever. The drill holes in breach berms in Zachary Estates and Hogan's Pit or whatever. What if you took a 5-gallon bucket or whatever? It holds 5 gallons of water. You go and drill a hole in the side of it. How much water does that 5-gallon bucket hold? Not very much. But guess what? When they did that on Zachary Estates, we flooded houses on Prospect. Y'all don't think you're responsible for that, do you? Public Works ain't responsible. Engineering's not responsible for the houses y'all flood. My house gets flooded or whatever because y'all spent over $6 million to collect water and dump on me. I mean, even Mike Whitehead said it's against the law to take water that the county collects or whatever and dump it on private property. Mike Whitehead said that. I had to get rid of him. I had to get rid of Wilson Robertson, had to get rid of Jeff Bagosh. Commissioner Stromberger, please help out District 1 and start with a CRA and a community center and all that storm water on Muldoon and Bellevue Avenue. And we'll talk later, but please do not rezone Bellevue Avenue.
Thank you, Andrew. Our next speaker is Kathy Rushing.
First of all, I want to say that it was awesome to see the installation of 4 of our commissioners. It was amazing, and it was well done, and I was pleased to be able to see it. I'm here because I have a neighbor down there at Meetson Way, and it says private road. Gentlemen, you are welcome to come down there anytime you want to. It is not, this private road gives people a lot of ways to do things they shouldn't be doing. There's a gentleman who bought the property next to ours. He bought 165 feet. He split it, and he's maybe 4 feet, 5 feet from the property line. And then I understand we have this rule of 5 feet where he can send all his water over to our property. And the worst thing is, he's got an 8-inch pipe that goes out into the bay when it's high tide, and all that high tide comes in, and it's doing its flooding on our property, not his, because he's got it raised up, and he thinks that he can do what he wants to. He had the power company put his box on our property, on that 5 foot. Because that's 5 foot, he gives him the right. What right does that give him to do anything except to share the water? He's put the pipe on my niece next door. She's got a 7.5-inch pipe that went high tide, and when we had that storm come in, the bay, Perdido Bay, was rough. No rain at all. Very rough. But Cody said she didn't think it was, because I asked her, could I block it? She says, I don't think they're legal. So I went in there and I put a bag of sand on his, and no water came in. There was no flooding coming into the land from the bay because it was blocked. I did the same thing to my niece's house. No water came in, and it was really rough and windy. So there's something wrong when somebody can put, and this pipe that he has over there on his side has been there close to 20 years. We couldn't figure out why we were having a dip in the property there. He had put it in there a long time ago, and he admitted it, that he did it. What can we do to get rid of it or make him shorten it?
Ms. Rushing, did you bring this up last month? And Terrence, did we have code go out?
Code, but they didn't come out for this. No.
Well, maybe I can hook you up with Terrence Davis, our code officer, and he can get the address and see if some of the stuff you're talking about we
And
can
I
assist
have,
with.
this man, flooding things, he called code because I couldn't mow. She came out and she said, well, you can't mow because it's wet. Oh, yeah, but it ain't 5 feet. It's going in over 12 feet. His water's going in. And the second thing he's done, he's taken his drainage. It's enclosed, and he's got it this far from the property line, and his house out this far from his house, so it's close up. It didn't send it out to the road.
Okay, Ms. Rushing, I heard what you said. Terrence, would you mind getting with her and seeing if we can help her? Thank you. Our next speaker is Jesse Horn. Is Jesse here? Oh, okay. Thank you, sir.
Good evening. My main purpose here is to find out what was the results on a fine removal that I had requested I guess last month.
Sir, do you mind pulling the speaker up close to you?
My reason for being here was that I'm here to see what was the results on a fine removal on some estate property and mine, which we discussed it, I guess almost a month ago now. And I'm waiting for a decision, which is going to remove the fine from it. And I wrote it all out and gave it to you, so I won't put a long time with it. But one thing I want to say is that when I first got back to Pensacola, you know, I have a radio broadcast as Pastor Horn Ministry, and I talked about global marine distress and safety systems no pay for it, but reminding all the safety factors that we have for boating and all type of equipment that's needed for the public. And I think, and I'm going to start back again because I'm seeing now that it started back. And one more thing, I worked as a security guard during the COVID, and most people didn't want to work it, so I made a whole lot of money doing it, working at those elder care homes all over from here to Panama City for deaths. So there's nothing to play with when you talk about COVID. It's a very serious thing. And we do need vaccination because if we look over history, many people have been wiped out because of ignorance. And one more thing I want to end right now. If you listen to my broadcast on WRNE, you'll see I talk the same way all the time, whether black, white, or whatever folks. And I found out that as long as our young black and white kids, mostly white kids, are shooting and killing in these schools, if we can just control the parents. And one way of controlling the parents is to put them in jail when they speak hateful talk all the time around their kids. And if we can do that, I think we'll do pretty good. I'll continue on doing on radio, but I'm here to, as I say, to see if that fine has been removed off my property. And I'll take it further more after tonight.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Horn. If that's the end of our speakers tonight, we will conclude and reconvene for the regular board meeting at 5:30. Thank you all.
I think you had another speaker.
Did you sign up, ma'am? I don't have you on my list. What's your name? Okay, come on up, Kim. I don't have you on the list I have here, but what more? Okay. Oh, no, ma'am. You're signed up for OF8, a discussion that we're going to have later in the regular meeting.
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. We're all learning. Me too. All right. We will adjourn until 5:30. Thank you all.